October is Transport Month, but economists have been talking about the importance of transport and logistics for the South African economy for some time. Partnerships between public enterprises and the private sector are one of the key elements of the economic reform program driven by the Government of National Unity. Transport and its infrastructure is an important part of this. The process of entering into a contract to develop and manage Durban Port's Pier 2 terminal illustrates how complex this will be. The problem is that our ports are not being managed efficiently, and Transnet's financial position is such that it cannot borrow money to pay for maintenance and upgrades. They now need a private sector partner who can operate and maintain the Pier 2 terminal. After a long process, Transnet decided on the Philippine company International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, or ICTSI, to operate Durban Port's Pier 2 terminal. This can be a contested process with different interests wanting different things. The government is pushing Transnet to do this since they, and us the taxpayers, cannot pay for the maintenance and upgrades that are needed. The increased efficiency should benefit the government's income as well as the companies involved in imports and exports. On the other hand, Transnet is giving up revenue that they would have earned from operating the port, but at least they will earn dividends for their 50% share of the SPV. The Competition Commission approved the deal but has requirements. For example, that there won't be retrenchments for the first 3 years, and in addition, the tenure of seconded employees won't be affected. Finally, ICTSI has to make commitments towards an employee incentive scheme and will have to attain level 4 broad-based black economic empowerment contributor status. Labour unions have been opposed to the concessioning plan from the start. In addition, deals like these are complicated and the private partner must meet a number of requirements. This decision in favor of the ICTSI was opposed by the company that did not win the bid, APM Terminals. Last week, a judge in the Durban High Court granted an injunction against the agreement on the grounds that Transnet favored ICTSI's bid by the way that certain financial requirements were applied. This will further prolong the process that began in 2022. Exactly what the best agreement would be and who acted rightly or wrongly in this case is yet to be determined. But what it demonstrates is that the process of involving the private sector in our infrastructure will not be quick or easy. The private sector's involvement in the container terminal at Nkura also faced significant hurdles. The tender was set in motion in 2022 to maintain, run and invest in the port and container corridor, and this is currently being reworked after bidders complained that the conditions attached to it lacked commercial logic. The deal can also be too sweet and to the detriment of the taxpayer. Earlier this month, it was reported that Bombela, the concessionaire who operates the Gautrain, is in the rare position of having minimal financial risk. This is thanks to its patronage guarantee agreement with the Gauteng government. If ridership and revenue are below an agreed minimum, the province has to make up the difference. In the past 2 financial years alone, the province contributed a total of 5.16 billion rand to making up the shortfall. The Gauteng government does not collect that money in the province. It's part of its transfer from national government. So it's the regular taxpayer standing in. And then there's the SAA Takatso deal that the Business Day calls a cautionary saga of what happens when political rhetoric collides with the harsh realities of market dynamics and shareholder interests. All in all, there's little doubt that South Africa needs private sector capital and expertise in the transport infrastructure. But doing it right and doing it well is not going to be easy. Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of Economics Weekly with me, Waldo Krugell. Drop a comment or a question below and join me again for next week's episode as we look at news that make our economy tick.